In 2004, a very unique motion picture was released. It was called Cellular, and it starred Kim Basinger, Chris Evans, Jason Statham, William H. Macy, and Jessica Biel. Kind of a mixed cast, isn't it? You've got thriller queen Basinger, you've got action star Statham, and you have the still up-and-coming heartthrob Chris Evans. On paper, this movie looks like just another early 2000s action thriller starring a randomly assembled group of actors who they had under contract at the time. However, there's something below the surface that no one seemed to notice. There's a twist that's right in front of the audience, but is so cleverly played off that it's remained largely hidden for 18 years. Let's quickly dive into Cellular and the reason it's so special. Kim Basinger's character, Jessica, is kidnapped and locked in a basement by a group of dirty cops. Long story short, her husband videotaped the officers committing a murder, and the cops want that tape. Jessica is now trapped in that basement, with only a broken telephone as a line of communication. She manages to get the phone to work, but she has no way of knowing what number has been dialed. The call she is able to make is completely random. Chris Evans' character, Ryan, is living it up at the beach. He runs across his ex-girlfriend and, in an attempt to win her back, agrees to take part in a fundraiser. Ryan is the one who gets Jessica's random phone call. She explains her situation to him, and he desperately tries to save her while also being unable to hang up the phone. If he hangs up, there's no way to get the call back. It seems pretty straightforward as a premise, doesn't it? Well, let's take a look at exactly what just happened. Jessica is trapped in a life-or-death situation. She's in a confined space with the threat of a violent murder hanging over her head. In her desperation, she can make a single phone call. Jessica is in a suspense thriller. Ryan is trying to win back the girl he loves by taking part in a scheme to join a beachside fundraiser strictly to get close to her and impress her. Ryan is in a teen comedy. That broken phone just called someone in an entirely different movie. If left untouched, Ryan's storyline would have likely followed the same predictable route of any young adult romance film. He pretends to care about a cause in order to get the girl. She finds out he's pretending, essentially lying to her. They have a fight, but things get reconciled and they get back together at the end. Typical. Ryan's movie even has its own lovable oaf police officer, played by William H. Macy. That would be Officer Mooney. He's a cop typical of such comedy films. He's the authority figure with no teeth who's easy to fool while you're involved in hilarious hijinks. Mooney, the flop of a cop, stands in stark contrast to the thriller movie's villain, Jason Statham as Detective Greer. Greer is a cold-blooded killer who abuses his power and literally murders suspects. On the other side of things, Officer Mooney wants to open a spa. So what happens when a thriller calls into a teen comedy and the two merge? When high stakes mix with humor and adventure, you get to watch Cellular morph into its final form, a pure action film. Now, does this mean Cellular is one of the best films ever made? No, but I think its twist, the idea of a movie character calling someone in an entirely different film for help, it's one worth noting. It's a clever touch that should be applauded simply for being tried, especially since it was never even used as a selling point for the project. If this film were made today, all of the advertising and social media content would be pointing directly at the twist. What would happen if two genres collided? Find out this summer. I'd recommend watching Cellular at least once, and if you've seen it before, check it out again, just to watch it and have this twist in mind.